Welcome to the Green Light. My name's Dave O'Brien, for anyone who doesn't know me, who has had the pleasure of meeting me yet. I'm here to answer everybody's questions tonight about anything to do with the cleanse and about health and nutrition in general. A little story about myself. I like to start off by saying this whole journey for me started 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I was like everybody else. I was eating unconsciously. I was eating everything that I was told was good for you. And I was at the Capitol Grill eating the filet mignons, the French fries, the asparagus drowned in butter. I was a roofing contractor for 27 years. So if there was ever a typical standard American diet eater, it was me. I never made the connection between diet and disease. Then 10 years ago, my father got sick and it kind of opened up my eyes. He got into the conventional medicine, and within a year, he went from a big strapping buck with big, huge forearms like Popeye to a shell of himself, skin and bone, literally poisoned to death with the chemotherapy, the radiation, the whole madness that is conventional medicine. I was there, I was getting the vibes from the doctors and the nurses, and I was just observing and feeling what I was feeling, and I'm like, there's got to be a better way. This can't be right. That this is nothing about this is healing. These treatments something inside of me told me something's totally wrong. I saw my father, I felt bad for the guy, and then I felt bad for everybody else that I was seeing in there, and nobody was getting well. So that's how my journey in this not crusade, but this is how my journey began. So intuitively, I knew there was a better way, so I started to study the human body and human nutrition. And I started to incorporate what I was learning into my own life. And I started feeling better. Not that I was ever really sick, but I didn't know what feeling good felt like. I had lost all control about, I never checked in with myself. I never really was overweight or anything like that, but I never felt like I feel today. So I started this journey, and I went out and I seeked out the best in human nutrition. I literally traveled the whole country, hanging out with the best of the best in human nutrition. People who understood cellular enhancement and the human body and how it's designed and how we choose to nourish ourselves if we choose to be healthy. So what I try to tell people in the beginning is I would never tell anybody what they should do. Okay, it's not my gig. I have no desire to tell people what they should do. I'm more interested in telling people who ask me what they could do in order to live in physical bliss, if that's what they choose, to get rid of all the ailments that they're suffering from. So when I started to learn everything I learned, I found out that the fastest and most effective way to help people with any type of disease and disorder is through the intestines. When you think about all the diseases we suffer from as a country and now the world, they all stem from the intestines. And when I learned that 80% of our immune system is located in our intestines, it made complete sense to me. People are suffering from IBS, Crohn's, colitis, diverticulitis, acid reflux, diarrhea, constipation. These are all diseases of the fork, and they're all diseases of the intestines when they're not working properly. What happens when the intestines aren't working properly is mostly due to diet. We're eating things that we shouldn't be consuming in order to have our intestines work. A lot of Americans today have impacted intestines, and that's the leading cause of our problems. When you have impacted intestines, when you're choosing to consume the flesh and fluids of animals like I was, my intestines weren't working properly. They were impacted, like a lot of Americans right now. A lot of people are walking around with impacted intestines. When your intestines are not working properly, there is very little absorption of nutrients entering into the bloodstream. So in order to get people healthy, it's all about oxygen. And when I learned that the most important nutrient in the human body is oxygen, and how you get oxygen to the cell, it's through the intestines, into the bloodstream, and into the human cell. Every cell in the human body is seeking oxygen all the time. And when we choose to consume diets that impact our intestines, we're preventing the absorption of oxygen into the bloodstream, and the cells are literally suffocating. So you have all these cells in the body looking for oxygen. The bloodstream's full of cholesterol. It's not delivering the oxygen to the cell. So once I figured that out, and then I experienced it myself, I started eating better. I stopped dairy, and then I stopped eating meat, and then I started feeling amazing, and I started studying plant-based nutrition, and I'm like, this is really crazy. I freaking live in physical bliss every single second of every day. It's like completely amazing. I can't articulate and describe into words how I feel. So it's more like an experience that we have an opportunity to provide you with. And that's how people are getting curious. People come in, they start doing the cleanse like this guy. He has an experience. He did the cleanse a year ago, but now he's back, and he started on 4 days. And after the third day, he's calling Rosangela 2 more days, 3 more days, and now he's going to end up with like a 9 or 10 day cleanse. And the guy will lose probably 18 pounds of And with the weight that you lose on the cleanse is literally stuff that was not serving him. It was the stuff that was impacted in his intestines and his colon that he's eliminating. He's certainly not losing water weight. He's drinking over 100 ounces of fluids a day. So people on these diets that people are going on, they say, oh, it's all water weight, it's all water weight. On the cleanse at the Green Light, it's literally undigested stuff that is hanging around in the intestines and in the colon that people are literally eliminating through doing the cleanse. It's a very simple cleanse, but it's the most effective because we don't use any beets or carrot juices like a lot of cleanses that are on the market. We don't use any cashew milks with agave. We don't use any lemonades and maple syrup. None of that. It's sweet. People like the beets and the carrots. They like all the sugar that's in there, but it's not really a cleanse. So we chose to make our cleanse. I took the best of everything I learned, and we incorporated it. I took the best of every single thing I could get my hands on, and we designed the cleanse based on the best of the best. So is everybody here familiar with wheatgrass? How many people here have had the wheatgrass from the Green Light? All right. Wheatgrass is literally the most nutritious food on the entire planet Earth. There isn't anything you could ever ingest into the human body, and I say this regardless of financial means. This is where it is. This is the top of the mountain right here. It's the best of the best. It has healed people from so many types of disorders just from doing this. We have a guy in Duxbury. The only thing he did in his life was to start coming into the Green Light, doing a shot of wheatgrass in the morning and a shot of ginger in the afternoon. And he lowered his cholesterol by 60 points within weeks. So just from doing that. And a buddy of mine verified it. You saw him at the Chinese, yes?
I lowered mine 100 from wheatgrass.
Over 100 points. So what we're talking about today is a truth. We talk the truth of nutrition at the Green Light. In a world full of lies on human nutrition, there's so many people out there confused about, it's so confusing. I was confused. I started getting all this information. It was all contradictory. I'm like, what is the truth here? So I seeked out the truth. I kept finding out the truth, and then I verified it and verified it and verified it, and then I've never seen this not work. So now we have literally worked with thousands of people. It's no longer hundreds. Thousands and thousands of people are choosing to change their lives by choosing to stay away from the dairy and start nourishing themselves. So 3 things I like to share with people that helped me in the very beginning was, a guy asked me, Dave, where do you live? And I looked at him, I said, I live in Duxbury, Massachusetts. And the guy said, no, where do you really live? So I'm like, Duxbury, Massachusetts. So he asked me one more time. I said, no, Dave, where do you really live? So I understood he was asking me, where do I live? I said, well, I live here, I guess. This is where I truly live. And he's like, you're right. So everybody in this room, since the time you're born to the time you die, you live here. People cannot move. A lot of people would like to move. They've eaten themselves into conditions that they're lugging themselves around the planet. They not have any energy. They're lethargic. They're sick. They're suffering. I see it every day. They're lugging themselves around, and that's not the way it has to be if they choose. So I have a lot of people with a lot of money that would write me a check in 2 minutes to say, Dave, can you move me out of here? Can you please get me out of here? But that's not the case. At the end of the day, it's up to everybody in this room to take their matters into their own hands. Because if you don't, then your healthiest day could have been yesterday. And if yesterday wasn't the best for most people, and in my experience, yesterday for most people wasn't so good. If they don't choose to make some changes, my healthiest day is tomorrow. As good as I feel today, my healthiest day is tomorrow. So I have a lot to look forward to. I'm going for a long time in a pain-free body solely because I choose to nourish myself. And I didn't 10 years ago. I was the furthest thing from that. So I understood this is where you live, and then I understood what is food. Does everybody know what food is? The definition of food is something that nourishes the body. So when the guy told me that, I was like, okay, that makes sense. Food, something that nourishes the body. I had lost total unconsciousness about food. I didn't realize it, and then I realized after the guy told me that I was eating very little food. I was eating very few things that were nourishing me, and I don't know how my body was doing what I was asking it to do, but by eating what I was choosing to consume. So food is something that nourishes the body. Then the third thing I learned was hunger. Everyone thinks they're going to starve to death on the cleanse. Am I going to be starving? And I'm like, no, it takes months to starve. You're not going to starve. So the human body only gets hungry for one reason. It's your body's search for nutrients. And when the guy said that, I'm like, that makes sense too. Okay, hunger, your body understands you're hungry, sends a message to the brain, so your body's search for nutrients. You satisfy that craving for nutrients, your hunger goes away. So when people eat non-food items, which is what a lot of people are eating 3 times a day, they're always hungry. I'm always hungry. I hear this all day, I'm always hungry, I'm always hungry. And then they're eating a sleeve of Oreos, they're eating Egg McMuffins, they're eating all these things. And 2 hours later, they're hungry again because their body is still searching for nutrients and they haven't given it any nutrients. So when I started to do that, it all made complete sense. Those are the 3 things that really helped me. So how the cleanse works, and that's why we're all here tonight to learn more about the cleanse. I know a couple of people in here have done the cleanses. Who's done the cleanse in the room? If they're willing to share. Okay. So what happens is the most effective way to have the cleanse work is to come in on an empty stomach, because you want to come in early in the morning and take the wheatgrass shot on an empty stomach. So you're going to come in here and we're going to give you a 2-ounce shot of wheatgrass. Believe it or not, 2 ounces. The most amazing thing about this, when you do a 1-day cleanse, the green light cleanse, you're literally taking in more nutrients than most people get in a whole year in 1 day. When you think about it, and I've watched people, I've studied people's food diaries, I go to the supermarket, I look in their shopping carts, I look at the aisles of the supermarkets, and I understand that there is more nutrients in a 1-day cleanse than people consume in an entire year. So the human body is amazing in what we give it to work with and what it does for us. So you come in the morning, you'll see there'll be a juicer here. Kyle or Rosangela or who's ever working here will cut the wheatgrass, juice it, and hand you a nice, beautiful 2-ounce shot of wheatgrass. You drink that. The reason wheatgrass is so powerful is because it contains chlorophyll. All energy on the whole entire planet, all nutrients, all vitamins, everything comes from plants and the sun. So what happens with the wheatgrass, it captures all the energy from the sun in the blades of the grass, and we're juicing that, and you're getting pure, best enzymatic nutrition you can get. So you consume the 2 ounces of wheatgrass, and people who get really healthy, you can feel it. You can literally feel the rush and the power that comes from it. It's like Popeye eating the spinach. You just total oxygen to the brain. You start thinking clearer. Your whole body responds. So always best on an empty stomach. Then what you're going to do is, like Joe just left with 2 coolers because he works nights and he picks up every 2 days. It's not ideal, but it's much better than not doing it. Ideally, you come in every single day. You come in with the cooler. You come on the first day, you do your wheatgrass, you're going to leave with a cooler like Joe left with. And you're going to contain 3 green juices and 3 probiotics. So after the wheatgrass, 15, 20 minutes later, you're going to drink one of the probiotics. The probiotics that we have at the Green Light are literally the most effective. They're like mouthwash for the intestines. What happens with the probiotics, everyone's heard of antibiotics, right? Antibiotics means destructive to life. They're not good for us at all. People are taking antibiotics all the time. Antibiotics take out all the good bacteria we have in our intestines. Everybody thinks bacteria is bad. You have good and bad bacteria. People have mostly bad bacteria in their intestines. So the probiotic actually stimulates the growth of good bacteria. So you're not only flushing the walls of the intestines, the probiotics, all the enzymes that are in the probiotics go into the walls of the intestines and help to digest all the flesh and fluids of animals that are literally undigested, sticking around, hoping to get out of there, but your body needs help getting it out. So that's what the probiotics. So when you're doing the probiotics, it's literally like mouthwash for the intestines. It's going in there, cleaning up all the debris that shouldn't be in there and helping it to eliminate it. It also helps with the colon. So people are eliminating here better than they've ever had. And not like explosions, not like you have to worry about a toilet or anything like that. It's just getting rid of the stuff that is not serving us. So you're going to have the probiotic, then you're going to switch to a green juice. The green juice at the Green Light is spinach, kale, celery, cilantro, lemon, apple, and ginger. That's what's in our Green Light. There's eight ingredients. And we give you as much ginger as you can tolerate. I know a lot of people when they first come in here, they're getting extra apple light on ginger, or extra apple no ginger, and that's cool. We choose to get some momentum. So eventually, they start saying regular apple, light on ginger, and then it's just regular, and then it's extra ginger, and then a few weeks later, they're doing shots of pure ginger. Ginger is medicine. It's not like at CVS, Walgreens, Rite Aid, where they all have drugs there. Drugs are never going to heal us. Pills will never cure any ills. That whole thing is so confusing and so disastrous. Everything that they're serving, not a single person in the world suffers from a pharmaceutical deficiency. So people are taking all this stuff to so-called heal themselves through pills that would make a healthy person sick in order to make that sick person healthy. It's never going to work. We've been brainwashed and so out of control that I just stay away from that. So ginger is literally real medicine. Ginger will go in and find any inflammation in the body and help people that have inflammation. There's tons of inflammation out there. People are acidic, they have oxygen deprivation, they have all these things working. It's a perfect storm, and that's why people literally don't have the energy that they're looking for. your amount of energy you have is predicated on how much oxygen is in the bloodstream. And when you're walking around with cholesterol that's taking the place of oxygen in the body, it's going to make people tired. They're eating foods that take an enormous amount of energy to break down, assimilate, and eliminate. It takes a lot of energy to digest the flesh and fluids of animals. The human body, we tell the truth here. I'm not a PETA guy or an animal activist or anything like that. I'm just telling you the truth about human nutrition and how to nourish a human body. And it cannot and will not tolerate the flesh and fluids of animals. It's very, very difficult to get anything. It takes a lot more energy when we choose to consume the flesh and fluids of animals. It takes a lot more energy to digest and eliminate that than it could ever possibly give us. What my sister's passing around right now is the probiotic for those who haven't had it before. That is pure live enzymes. That is what helps with the beneficial bacteria in the intestines. I don't know of a single probiotic on the market that works instantly like that. And that guy Joe, I wish he talked because he would have been good. He's having an experience right now that's changing his life. And that's what we try to do at the Green Light. We try to provide people with an experience that may or may not change their belief system, and they can literally change their life here. I've seen people super, super sick turn their whole life around solely from weaning off the dairy and hopefully, weaning off the meat. Meat is not good for us at all, but dairy is in a class by itself as far as disastrous. Does anybody here think that dairy does a body good or think not as disastrous as cow's milk? Cow's milk is the worst. And does anyone know why we chose cows to drink cow's milk and not lion's milk or zebra milk or anything like that? We took the man in his warped thinking, took the cow because they're the easiest to manipulate. So that's why we took the cow's milk. Soy is not a health food at all. That's another whole thing, but it's not as disastrous as dairy. If you have a choice, I personally would choose not to have either one, but dairy is a lot worse than soy. Soy is highly processed. It's difficult for the human body to digest, and I don't care what the label says. Soy is genetically modified. I don't care where it comes from. There's very little soy that's not genetically modified. So soy is not the best choice. The best choice would be almond milk, coconut milk, hemp milk, rice milk, those types of milks. All nut milks are good, but soy is not, any type of soy is not good for us. A lot of people have trouble with soy. You're welcome. Good question. So the milk has never done us any good. I tell this in all my classes because some people don't realize that. Does everyone here realize human beings are the only species on the planet confused enough to consume the fluids of another species? We're the only ones. No animal in nature would ever start feeding off another animal. It doesn't happen. And human beings are the only ones who consume milk after infancy. Not even their own mother's milk, but cow's milk after infancy. So the whole thing is confusing. It's the meat and dairy industry. My hat's off to them. They're highly effective. They have dubbed us all. They are amazing. You want to learn how to market with unlimited funding, they have got the monopoly on that. They have brainwashed that milk is a source of calcium. That's what they tell us. However, the milking cows today, if anyone in the room thinks the dairy cow is out eating grass, because that's where it gets all its calcium, so if the light bulb came on to me and I'm like, Dave, you got to stop filtering your nutrition through the flesh and fluids of animals, because that's what we're eating steak and meat and all that for to get the protein. All the animals we are confused enough to eat, they're all vegans. They all eat grass, from the chicken, the pig, the cow. They're all vegans. They're getting all their nutrients from grass. So why don't we just go right to the grass, right to the plant-based? Everyone know about the bonobo ape, how strong they are? They're amazing. They got the 98% same DNA as us. They got the same exact intestines. They can lift 8 times their body weight. A bonobo ape, YouTube it. They're incredibly strong. All they eat are dark leafy greens. Oxes, bulls, strong as a bull. Horses, they're all raw vegans. They have plenty of muscles. So it's the protein myth, and it's the highest quality protein diet is a vegan diet. So it's the most assimilated and the highest quality proteins. And when you like the granola we have, and when you break down, when you soak in the seeds and nuts, you're breaking down all the proteins into amino acids, so it's ease of digestion. When you're eating a plant-based diet, your digestive system doesn't have to work very hard at all to assimilate the nutrients in there. That's the green juice. That's very dark. That's very dark green juice. We use a lot of spinach and kale. That's why our green juice is dark. A lot of juice bars use. Hi, how are you? Welcome to the Green Light. It's okay. Nice to see you. It's been a long time. Yes. So the green juice you're drinking right now is full of oxygen, enzymes, hormones, and phytonutrients. That's what the human cell's looking for. The amazing thing about the human body is that you can take a cell that is not in the best shape and you give it the raw materials, it can duplicate itself to a healthier cell. Not a lot of things can do that. When you damage a cell, you think, okay, it can only stay at that level, it can never go higher. But the human body is so resilient and brilliant that it can literally take a cell that even a cancer cell, it has the ability to duplicate itself to a healthier and healthier cell. That's why every day I get healthier and healthier and healthier. I didn't feel this way when I was 20 years old. I'm telling you, really crazy. And only because my cells are getting everything that's looking for. I don't think about disease. I haven't had a headache in 10 years. I haven't been sick in 10 years. I was traveling all over the country, sleeping in rental cars. I had people crying and sneezing, and I'm in airplanes with coughing. Nothing. I don't even think about disease. I don't even know what it feels like to be in pain. I live in a pain-free body solely because I have rebuilt my entire infrastructure, if you will, solely through nutrition. That's it. And it can happen to anyone. Anyone's entitled to this. We're in Pembroke, Massachusetts. We have 6 stores on the South Shore. You can go to any green light and literally get the best cleanse on the entire planet. People in California aren't doing this. I've been to California. I've been all up and down the coast. I skipped mid-America because not a lot of juice bars in Mississippi or anything like that. They're gonna stop throwing them in Walmart. When they stop putting juice bars in Walmart, we'll know we're making progress. But so I don't know anyone else that's doing this. No one's got the passion and the energy that it takes to do what we're doing here, but this is an opportunity. I have an amazing life because I get to work with people and get to meet people and literally watch them transform their lives right before our very eyes, literally. We had a guy come into the green light yesterday from Cisco Systems, the food company, and they're trying to sell us stuff, right? That's what the guy was there for. So he comes in with it. So I saw his card the other day, last night at the register. I'm like, okay, Cisco found us. Not that we would use Cisco. We don't use Cisco for anything. Maybe paper towels. But the guy had a green juice. My sister got him a green juice, and he came in today. And I never met the guy, but he came in. He goes, "You got me. I'm hooked." In one day, he had a green juice, and he had his blood sugar taken this morning. It was down 60 points. So type 2 diabetes is 100% linked to diet. You can reverse type 2 diabetes. It's done all the time. Anyone who knows Gabriel Cousins, Tree of Life in Patagonia, Arizona, he's been reversing diabetes forever. And solely the type 2 diabetes, solely through nutrition. So all the diseases we suffer from, you think you have diabetes too, they label you for life, you can't get rid of it, it's incurable. None of that is, there's a lot of misinformation out there. So if you choose to get healthy, this is the fastest and most effective way to do it. But the dairy is really, I always pound dairy because it's that, I'm trying to make a point that it's that disastrous to us. It's never meant to be in the human body. It's acidic, it's full of saturated fat, cholesterol, it's all poison. No fiber, there's no fiber in any meat or dairy. Does everybody realize that? You know there's fiber in every fruit, vegetable, nut, seed, and grain on the planet. There's fiber in all of it. There's no cholesterol in any of it. I've had 0 dietary cholesterol in 10 years. Okay, 0. Your body creates all the cholesterol that it will need. You require 0 dietary cholesterol. And there's only 2 ways to get cholesterol into the human body. It's the flesh and fluids of animals. That's it. That's the only 2 ways. And that's not really going to serve us at all. That's the start of all diseases. And people say we're carnivores, we're this or that. If we were carnivores by nature, like a tiger and a lion, okay, they're carnivores. Their natural diet is to eat other animals. However, they start with the stomach first. They kill it first. They don't eat it when it's dead and decomposing like us. They eat the thing fresh. They rip the stomach out. They get all the digestive enzymes first. They eat the whole entire animal. And they don't suffer from heart disease. Or when was the last time you saw a fat lion or a fat tiger, you know, and heart disease, diabetes, and all these other ailments that we're suffering from? None of them have anything. Their body is designed to handle that. They have acid 10 times stronger than ours. They have the ability to break down dense animal flesh, and they're eating it all raw, which means the meat is full of enzymes. We're cooking all of our animals, and we're killing all the enzymes. So we're talking about the cleanse because we want to flush people's intestines, flush people's colons. We want to flush and nourish, cleanse, 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 nourish, and people are literally getting better and better every day. So if anybody has any questions on any type of human nutrition, I would be more than happy to try to answer it for you.
So Dave,
Yes.
tell me about the cleanse, because I'm doing it right now.
Okay.
I'd like to actually find out why you do what and like the steps you do it.
Okay.
I mean,
Yes. Yep. You're going to come in on an empty stomach. Have you done the cleanse before in the last year? You didn't? Yes.
So I
Yes.
did it last year,
Yes.
and then I did it 2 weeks ago,
Yep.
maybe.
Okay.
Last week, actually, and I'm doing it again.
Okay,
this week.
all right. There's a lot of repeaters because we're trying to provide an experience where people, I have guys coming in, you know, I don't judge anyone. I try not to judge to the best of my conscious ability. I love everybody, believe me. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. This is what I'm supposed to do with the rest of my life. I know that, regardless of the pain and suffering it took me to get here. But we're going to choose to keep going. But you provide them with an experience, and I have guys coming in, and literally guys like contractors. Like, that guy's a contractor. That guy's like a manly man. He's big and strong and all this. And people come in and they're like, Dave, I don't know what's going on, man, but something's effing going on here. I got all this energy, and I had people that work for us. We see the changes just from working with us. The lady that works for us was telling me how all weekend long she cleaned her whole house. She's never had that much energy. It's because we're getting oxygen into her bloodstream. So to answer your question, you're going to come in and do the 2-ounce shot of wheatgrass. Wheatgrass, most nutritious food on the planet Earth, by none. Nothing you could put past your lips that's going to heal you and help you faster than wheatgrass juice. If you study wheatgrass like I have, and we're fortunate enough that we literally have the best tasting wheatgrass in the country, this is where it's at. Okay, if you're going to do anything in your life to help yourself, this would be the thing to do. So we always say, like, eat like you care about yourself. Someone told me that one day. Eat like you care about yourself, will you? So the 2-ounce shot of wheatgrass, and then the probiotics. Do you having a hard time with the probiotics? Everything tastes good? Yep. 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 And on the cleanse, anyone who can handle more ginger, if you take the first day cleanse and you're drinking the green juice and it has a little ting to it, but you can tolerate it, the next day you come in and you say, I'll take a little extra ginger, a little extra ginger, a little extra ginger. We'll give you all the ginger you can handle, because that's how people are healing themselves of all types of inflammation. With inflammation causes pain. So people can eliminate pain. We're supposed to, human body is designed to live in physical bliss. It's not meant to live in pain and disease. Disease is unnatural. And when you don't abide by the laws of nature, you will pay the price. And the guy told me, listen, Dave, you ignore your health, don't worry, it will go away. And I'm like, he's absolutely right. So that's the only thing. Health is the foundation of happiness. I've seen people with lots of money that aren't healthy. They're not happy. Anyone who has a shot at being happy, you got to feel good and be able to go out and create a life for yourself, or go out and do things that you always wanted to do, but you didn't have the energy to do it. You know, so this gives you the energy to do whatever you like. My body does every single thing I ask it to. It goes long and hard all day long, and it never says no to me. So why would I want to treat someone who's been this kind to me with nothing but the best? I didn't realize that in the beginning. So I try to take care of myself now, better than I ever have, because life is difficult for everybody. Never mind a healthy, vibrant guy. Life has its challenges. Never mind going through it with migraine headaches and ailments and going to the doctors and then poisoning yourself through chemotherapy and taking pharmaceutical drugs that are destroying your liver, your kidneys. You're literally decomposing and then dying instead of dying and decomposing. We have it completely backwards. So the cleanse gives everybody the opportunity to literally flush your intestines and colon, and from there, the delivery system through your arteries, veins, and capillaries will deliver what the cells are looking for. And when you deliver what the cells are looking for, every cell in the human body is happy. It's getting all this oxygen. It's like, oh my God, where have you been? The human cell pulls in all the oxygen, pushes out all the toxins. People on the cleanse, we have an amazing success rate with the cleanse. People buy 100 cleanses, we might find 2 people that get off the bus after the second day. It's like, Dave, I can't do it. And you look at them, and unfortunately, they need it more than anybody. The people that can't do it are the ones that need it the most. So it's a huge adjustment for people when they're having no nutrition to the best in less than 24 hours. Yesterday, they were eating non-food items, literally eating crap all day long, and now you're going to flood your bloodstream with wheatgrass and enzymes and probiotics and green juices, and to go from 0 to 1,000 miles an hour in a 12-hour period, there's going to be some backlash, especially if you're not in such the best of shape. So that's what people are experiencing. Then they get headaches. It's oxygen to the brain, and their brain's coming alive, and all the inflammation that's putting pressure on the brain, causing all these migraines. We have people in here with debilitating migraines, bedridden migraines for days. I've never had a migraine in my life. I can only imagine from what these people are telling me how mind quality of life is toast. So, but once you get the inflammation down, the swelling of the brain, oxygen to the brain, we've had people that have never had a migraine again. However, they have made changes in their life that you got to prevent. You wouldn't have to prevent something that would never happen, but you could eliminate the cause of all these ailments. And until you do that, you're not going to be well. And if you don't get well, you're going to end up in the mess of conventional medicine. And I don't like anyone's chances, to be honest with you. I've seen it. I've been to Children's, I've been to Dana-Farber, I've seen the kids losing all their hair, I see the doctors with the white coats, and I literally can feel the madness and the confusion and the darkness, and I'm looking around and going, someone's going to call a timeout here. The first chemo, when the people's hair started falling out and they started vomiting, someone should have called a timeout and said, dude, this guy's hair's falling out, he's vomiting. Nah, he's fine, he's fine. I'm like, this probably should be nourishing people to health, not poisoning them to health. It will never work. No doctor has ever been able to explain to me how that works. How you're going to poison someone to wellness. You want to compromise your immune system, which is the only thing that can keep you well, is your immune system. So at the Green Light, everything we do, every single thing we do at the Green Light is for one reason. It's to promote health. And to promote health, you have to strengthen the immune system. When you have a strong immune system, disease and disorder cannot survive. That's why I have not been sick in 10 years. Nor do I ever, in the foreseeable future, do I ever see myself ever getting sick. I don't know how it could possibly happen. My immune system's bulletproof. I feel very confident. So when you compromise your immune system, there's the two of the biggest compromises of your immune system are chemotherapy and radiation. So you're going to destroy someone's immune system, the only thing to keep them well, to build them up and make them healthy. So I like your chances on this side. This is an opportunity for everybody, as well as it is for us, to provide this to you, because everybody at the Green Light loves what they're doing, because they're having a positive impact in society. So I was like I said, I was a roofing contractor for 27 years. Up on a roof, didn't meet anybody, hung out with the same 4 or 5 guys every day, didn't meet anyone, just up there on the roof in the middle of just all by ourselves. I come down off of here, we open these places, I'm meeting thousands and thousands of amazing people. So talk about a life change. And then I completely changed my entire life. And from doing that, my daughter changed her life, and people in my family started changing. And you can't force people to change. I tried that in the beginning. I was trying to tell everybody, you don't want to be sick, I'm telling you. I figured out how you can be healthy. This is amazing. You should see what's happening to me. And I see all these people getting rid of sleep apnea, acid reflux, diverticulitis. Everything's healing, and these people are doing amazing. And I'm like, this is all happening because of nutrition? This is crazy. I'm like, I got to go to the hospitals and tell these people, this is working. We're dropping people, her cholesterol, 100 points, you said? Okay. With no statin drugs, right? So you're gonna block your body's natural ability to produce cholesterol, and you're gonna get all your cholesterol from animals? It doesn't make any sense. So when I had all this data and I had all these experiences with these amazing people, seeing people losing amazing, I saw a guy lose 60 pounds. In no time. It was a big, fat, bloated, drugged out mess. And I'm looking at the guy, and I see him in a con. I haven't seen the guy in a while, and I'm like, Mark? And he's looking at me, and he goes, so I look up to, what's up? He was bloated, he was full of depressants and drugs and eating like crap. And I'm like, come to my house. This guy dropped 60 pounds in 4 months, changed his entire life. To this day, he's lean and mean, feeling good. It hasn't taken a pharmaceutical drug, nothing. I've never seen it not work. So that's what motivated me. And when I did that, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to the hospitals. We're gonna stop the madness, right? So I went into the hospitals and I sat down I made an appointment, and I was gonna go in there. We were gonna have a coalition. I was gonna open a little juice bar in the hospital, and we were gonna bring wheatgrass in there and get juicers. And so I'm telling this guy like a little kid. I was 41 years old at the time, and I was like a little kid telling this guy about the opportunity we have to really have an impact. So the guy looks at me, and I'm spewing all this excitement and passion. The guy looks at me and he says, we're not interested in any of your programs. And I'm looking at the guy, and I'm like, excuse me? The guy said, we're not interested in any of your programs. And I said to the guy, I'll always remember this day till the day I die, which is many, many moons from now, 110. You can write it down. So I said to the guy, are you telling me that you could care less about the health and the well-being of the residents of the South Shore? Is that what you're telling me? Because that's what I'm hearing. And the guy looks at me and goes, that's what I'm saying. And I was like a little kid who said, there's no Santa Claus, Dave. I was like devastated. I had all this, I had all the data, I had all the people's blood work. I actually was taking pictures of these people before and after. And one of the first clients, his name was Gene, And to this day, we're buddies, and we laugh because he still has the picture. He came into my office. I had a little place in Quincy, and he took a side photo, and he's got this big fat gut. And then 90 days later, he was lean and mean. He got rid of his diverticulitis. He brought a sleep apnea machine back to the hospital. He lowered his cholesterol from 320 to 180, and he was below 200 pounds since the first time since high school. So he was all excited. So I thought we were really going to have a major impact. And when the guy said that, I didn't know how to react to that. I'm like, my first thought was just, I was going to beat the guy. And I'm like, I can't do that. And I hear my father's voice, get out of there, Dave, get out of there. Because I did a double take. I was like, eh. And I'm thinking, eh. And every part of me just wanted to, how dare you? How dare you mess with people's lives? And then you break people's spirits because they're so sick and suffering. You literally, their will to live, you beat it out of them. And I had a brother-in-law who they literally beat the will out of the kid. The kid was a big strapping guy. They literally, he's not here because of that. And I didn't know at the time what was happening. That was before I got on this rant. So I was devastated. So the guy saw me, and the guy was scared because I guess I scared the guy. So I said, get out of it. I have to get out of this. So I left. So a few days later, me and Rosangela in bed, 9:30 at night. We had this pounding on my door. I live in a place where very few people come to where I live. I live in a small little place, and someone's pounding on the door. We live on the second floor. I'm like, what? We have no outside light. We got nothing. I'm like, what could be going on here? So I go out there and I open the door, right? And it's the constable. He's serving me with a restraining order from that hospital, saying I can never step foot in there again. So I'm like, okay. I get it. Game on. Game on. I guess that's not the way to go. I got to do this another way. So I was tormented for a while until I realized you got to open the fastest, the most effective way to help people is by opening loving, non-threatening places. And that's how the Green Light was born. This was our first location. And once we did that, I was much more effective than trying to drag people and say, listen, you don't want to do that. Know what you should do. And that's when I learned, don't ever tell anybody what they should do. I don't like people telling me what I should do. And when you tell people you shouldn't drink milk, you shouldn't do this, no one likes that. And people, now I wait for people to come to me. I no longer force my will on people. I did it, the intent was beautiful. I was choosing to try to save the people. It's not my gig, it's not my thing, I'm not interested in that anymore. I got my ass kicked, I deserved it. My approach was obnoxious, but the intent was good, so I give myself a pass, okay? But now that I learned that, now I'm like, okay, I've told myself 1,000 times, I'm not gonna talk about nutrition ever again, I can't take it. And then the next day I'd find myself in a 2-hour dialogue with someone talking about it because I chose to share it because I know what this can do. I lived it. I've seen it in thousands of people. So of course I would like it for everybody, but that's not, it's up to the people. It's their choice and they have every right to choose whatever they choose to consume. But I believe that they should be fed the right information, not brainwashed like I was. And once I understood once you understand that milk doesn't do a body good, it's a horrific source of calcium. It actually causes osteoporosis. It doesn't prevent it. And then meat doesn't do it. Meat is not a good source of protein. It's a cancer-causing source of protein. So once I verified everything, it was like, dude, how could we be this far off track? How did we ever get it? How could everything I've been told my entire life be completely wrong? That's impossible, but it's not. Because it's the truth. Everything I was told growing up with the food pyramid and all of the stuff is completely off base. It's completely off base. And one of the greatest things right now that we're doing to our kids is the dairy is wiping out children today on dairy. They're having all types of asthma. All the things children are suffering from is from dairy. And what's mandatory in every school lunch? Dairy. It doesn't make any sense. All these doctors will tell you, oh, you're lactose intolerant, get off the dairy, do this and that. But it's mandatory in every school lunch. It's almost like what a crazy world we live in. So, but that's not how you do it, and this is how we're doing it. Thousands of people are coming here. Thousands of people have taken the cleanse, and that's how I am blessed, and that's why I have an amazing life, because I know that I'm not only part of the problem, no longer part of the problem unconsciously, because I didn't realize, I really didn't even know what I was eating. I didn't realize there were even animals, because we made them inanimate objects. When we go food shop and you have a list, you got eggs, bacon, then you're looking at paper towels, and it's no different from a pound of bacon than you grabbing a roll of paper towels. Everyone they have so done a great job to disconnect us that we don't even realize what we're buying anymore. So once I made all those connections, it was easy for me. It's not easy for a lot of people. Thank God, I guess I was blessed. I became a vegetarian overnight when I saw a couple of videos and I made the connection, because every time we eat, which is good. I'm glad I remembered this. Every time we eat, it's a transformation of energy. Good, bad, or indifferent, that's what eating is. It's the transformation of energy. So when you're consuming wheatgrass, when you're consuming the cleanse, you're consuming all this amazing energy from the light, earth, mother, all these amazing nutrients, enzymes, hormones, oxygen, all that is going into your body, and that's the transformation of that energy. When you're choosing to consume the fluids of animals, the flesh of animals, it's very negative energy. It's very dense energy. It's had a horrific, fearful life. So we're ingesting fear and death, and we're walking around full of fear, and because it's the transformation of that energy. So when I made that connection, I'm like, how can you nourish a live body? We're first and foremost electric. Our bodies, we're electric beings. We have to be fed literally juice. And I'm like, how can you sustain, looking at what I used to choose to eat unconsciously, how could I ever fuel a live body with dead food? I'm like, how is this, what is this anyway? And then we put all these seasonings on this to try to make it appealing. Then we put broccoli on it and some corn and some green beans. We got to add some color to the plate, because if you serve someone a steak on a plate, it'd be like, even hamburgers come with lettuce, tomato, onion, pickles, and they got to dress it up to disguise it so that people look at it and go, okay. And once I made all this on, I was like, holy mackerel, I'm guilty. You got me 100%. You hook, line, and sink. I bought in 100%. I was drinking Mountain Dews and Gatorades, and then I started thinking, I'm like, none of this is, I said to myself, I'm worth more than this. I started to like myself, and I started to say, okay, and we have a lot of self-loathing going on the planet, so that's a lot of people smoke, drink, they want to numb themselves, they don't want to feel. If you don't want to feel, this probably isn't for you. Okay, you want to work through your situations that you're dealing with, this is the way to go, because you get oxygen to the brain, you become conscious, you look around, you see the truth, and literally a world full of lies. So going on this path, your consciousness is kind of raised, whether you like it or not, and you start seeing things, and you're like, wow, you're fascinated. It's fascinating that we could be this off base as far as health. And you look at the computer and how far we've come in the last 30 years. Cell phones today have more technology than the space shuttle had that went to the moon. So we have all this technology. We went from pay phones to cell phones that can do, you can watch movies, you can do everything. The advancement in cancer, we fell so far backwards, we've made no advancement. There's more cancer now than ever before. And we've spent billions and billions of dollars trying to figure out why everybody's sick. And then you find out why people are sick. It's so easy. It's like, forget the billions. I don't even need $1. We funded this ourselves, and it's directly linked. And if anyone here, has anyone read the China Study? The China Study is a pretty good book. If you want to get a conventional doctor who set out to find the best human diet, he did a 25-year study. People before him figured it out, but he realized that the human beings are vegans, and that he regulated cancer growth from the animals, the flesh and fluids of animals. He could control the growth of cancer through that. So it removes all doubt, scientific doubt, about what causes cancer and why we are all so sick and why we're all so drugged out. And drugs will never heal us. I've never seen people Lipitor deficient. That's why the doctor puts them on Lipitor, because they have a Lipitor deficiency. That's not the way that it works. So, any questions? I can talk too much, yes.
So what's the basic cleanse? What does it entail? You started to go into it a little bit.
Let me, where's the 16-ounce jar, Kyle? What's that? This is a 16-ounce ball jar. All of our cleanses come in glass. The Green Light chooses. We're doing conscious commerce here. Everything we're doing here is like thought out, and nothing's done just like unconsciously. We will never sell. You will never be able to purchase the Green Light cleanse in plastic bottles. We chose not to do that. So all the cleanses come in glass. The juice is happier in glass. It stays fresher longer, and that's why all our nuts and seeds, they're all in glass. They look happier up there than in plastic. And it tastes like plastic. I've done juices that are flat, and in the Blueprint cleanse and all that, it tastes like flat green juice in plastic bottles. So everything you get at the Green Light's going to come in glass. We even got 2-ounce glasses now for the wheatgrass. I can show you one of them. So you're going to come in, you're going to get a cooler. If you don't have your own cooler, we'll supply one for you, because we like everything cold. And it's going to be labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're going to get 6 glasses of liquids, 3 probiotics and 3 green juices. and you're going to alternate. And it's all going to be labeled for you. We'll literally hold your hand the whole time you're on the cleanse because we want it, believe it or not, as bad as you do. And at least, okay? Because we're trying to get people to stay on the bus until we get past the third day. Once you get past the third day, everything changes. The first day is like, oh, Dave, that was a little tough. The second day you see people and you're like, don't let them off the bus. Come on, okay, all right. They're smiling, thank God. Then they bring them in. You get by the third day, and then that's the tipping point. That's when people start saying, okay, I can do this. I like the way I'm feeling. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm eliminating more like I haven't done in a long time. I'm feeling good about that. So that's when you can really make some progress. So 3 green lights, 3 probiotics, all 16 ounces. You drink them all in one day. Every day you get this. Joe came in with 2 coolers. That guy, you saw him come in with 2 coolers full of ball jobs. Just bring them back. We wash everything here. He came in, he dropped off his 2 coolers. He picked up 2 fresh ones and he left. And Joe got wheatgrass in beautiful glass bottles. We used to put it in the plastic cups until we found these. I went down to Cape Cod bottling. I found these. I'm like, give me a case of these things. They're beautiful. They're cute. We put ginger shots in here now too. Don't have to worry about it spilling or anything else. So we're always trying to do the best of the best, and that comes with a lot of work. This is a super labor-intensive gig we're doing right now. But that's okay. We were fortunate to do it, and we have no problem putting the effort in because it's worth it. Everybody in this room is worth it. And you can literally, like I have and like the thousands of people, literally change your life for the rest of your life. This is where you live. You can live happily and blissful in a pain-free body, hook up, like yourself, get your mind and body and as a team, instead of talking negative about your self-image, you start saying, okay, I feel pretty good, I look pretty good. We see women coming in and not feeling so pretty after they freaking get on this program and do this thing, coming in with the swagger, they can tell it. I'm like, Beth, you feel pretty today? And she goes, and I'm like, that's pretty good, right? Not bad. When you see people smiling. And a lot of people come through the door, they're not smiling in the beginning, but that Joe's smiling, Joe understands. And he was so adamant that he was looking at me like, never again am I eating myself into 239, never again. I told my fiance, I'm never doing this again, never. And you could tell he was passionate about it because he knows there's a way out. This is the way out. Anyone who's in a deep dark hole of despair in their health, this is the way out. No one's most diseases are not genetics. Has nothing to do with my mother had this, my father had this. The lifestyle's hereditary. Cells don't just mutate. There's usually a cause, and the cause is lack of oxygen deprivation. That's where cancer, you get into problems, when the cells are not getting oxygen. And when people have tumors and have cancer, people have reversed it because they flood the bloodstream with oxygen. The oxygen goes in and actually attacks the tumor and shrinks the tumor. Cancer cannot survive in an oxygenated environment. So when you have an oxygenated environment, that's why I don't worry about cancer. I haven't been to a doctor in 10 years. The last time I did, I went to have my blood work done because this guy on the internet was bragging he was the healthiest man in America. He's called the Health Ranger. He had all his blood work done. He had it posted, all verified by his doctors. So I'm like, okay, let's see what I got. So I went to the doctor for the last time. I looked at the guy. I hadn't seen him in 2 years. And this guy comes into the room, right? And I'm looking at the guy. I've had the guy for 10 years. And I'm looking at the guy. I hadn't seen him in 2 years. This guy was a big bloated mess. And I'm like, that ain't him. That ain't him. So he comes in, and I'm looking. I'm like, it's not him. And the guy looked at me. Until he opened his mouth, I did not recognize him. He had a triple chin going. He was enormous. And I'm like, Dr. Sawitz? He's like, I go, I didn't even recognize him. No, I said, I'm looking at the guy, and I was like, Dr. Sawitz. He's like, David! Like, he was offended that I didn't recognize the guy. And I was like, I got really good after that. I can see people that are in high school that I haven't seen. I don't recognize them in the beginning. And oh, how are you? And I just like, wow. I wouldn't want to live there, man. So this guy, he did my blood work, and I had the thing laminated, and I ran home, and I got it, and I compared it against this guy, and I'm like, I didn't only beat him, I beat him by a lot. And I'm like, all right, I got it. This is good stuff. Thank you very much. Have an amazing night.
Sorry, I have to go and
Okay. Okay. So that was the last time I've been to a doctor, and I have no health insurance. My health insurance is wheatgrass. If I get hit by a car, so be it. I'll probably end up there, but not with my eyes open. I will not go through the doors of a hospital with my eyes. I can't. It's repulsive to me. For me, Dave O'Brien, everyone else, whatever you feel. But I can't even go in there because I see what's going on there. I know what they're doing, and it's just best for me. Like courtrooms, I don't go to the registry of motor vehicles unless I have to. I don't go to courtrooms, and I don't go to hospitals. So I don't see myself ever. I don't know how my human body is going to break down. I'm going to die of natural causes in my sleep at 110. I'm going to give Rosangela a kiss goodnight, new sheets, about 10, and that's the end of it. I'll see you on the other side, and that's it. Because you call it arrogant, call it whatever you want. I have confidence in my body. My body's going to do whatever I ask it to do for as long as I ask it to do it. And then when I'm supposed to die of natural causes, that's what I will be. I will not die hooked up to transfusion trees at hospitals with people with the paddles bringing me back and beep, 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 beep. Never. Never going to happen. I'll not eat the hospital food. I'll not even smell it. I won't do well in there. I wouldn't do well if I felt sick or tired or lethargic. I wouldn't do well. I know that doesn't work for me. And I see people, and I don't judge, but I'm like, it can't be all that great. They don't look like they're having a lot of fun. When they get in and out of their car, it's like an event. I've literally watched people, and they open the door, and they're trying to get in, and like literally minutes later, they're like exhausted. And then they're going for the seatbelt, and it's like, I'd be at the store, I'd be back already by the time they get the seatbelt on. Yes? The best thing you can do, and now the internet is full, and we opened up a little school. We're going to choose to have classes about how to make amazing raw foods and vegan food. The best thing you can do, and the best gift you could ever give yourself, is do everything you can to eliminate dairy from your life. If you do the cleanse, and forget soda, everyone knows soda is a complete poison. Diet Coke, brain tumors, it's 100% linked to brain tumors. Diet Coke's horrific. But if you could eliminate dairy is what's undermining us more so than the meat. You want to try to get to a plant-based diet because that's how we're designed. If you choose to live in physical bliss, you can certainly eat anything that you choose because it's your choice, and you are entitled to that. Everybody in the room obviously is entitled. We don't dictate lifestyles. We have no desire to do that. And so just do whatever you can. I used to eat meat every night, every day. That's all. What else you eat? You eat meat. You eat meatball subs. I used to eat meatballs without even chewing the things. So I used to swallow the things. I didn't know what's left after meat, dairy, fish, and eggs. What the hell's left? What else are you going to eat? Now I look back, and I developed all unnatural cravings. None of us would ever crave meat. When a little kid, you get an infant, and you're feeding the kid beech-nut baby food with mincemeat in it and cut up chicken, the little baby is pushing it out. It's literally like, and the parents are taking the rubber spoon and putting it right back in there. Until you force that kid to accept poison, he would never do it, never. So you can tolerate poisoning yourself, and then you continue with that for the rest of your life. And we feed our little kids animals, but then we rent them Bambi and Wilbur and Free Willy and do all these things. We have old MacDonald had a farm. We have the little farms with all the animals, and Mary had a little lamb. My uncle had the leg of lamb. So it's all like crazy. So we teach people to love animals, and then we have little kids eating them, and it's like they would never eat them if they knew that they were just playing with them and they were crying at the movies. Because I never saw Bambi, but I probably should. But Bambi's another one, right? Bambi, Wilbur, and Charlotte's Web. What was his name? Whatever. Those we have this. Yes.
How long did you say you had to stay on the cleanse, and how long?
If you could do a 5-day cleanse, that's when people are going to reap the most benefits. 3-day cleanse, you're just getting momentum, and if you make it through the 3 days. That's the hard part. It's all uphill from there. It's like, that's where all the benefits are going to come. If you can hang on, because most of the detoxing, we don't like to use the word detox. Detox is for like drugs and alcohol. We try to call it a cleanse. We're trying to cleanse the human body. So most of the cleansing is going to take place the first 24, 36 hours, because you're flooding your bloodstream with all this oxygen. Your cells are not going to waste a second. It's going to take that opportunity to take in the oxygen and push out all the shit, because it doesn't know where is all this coming from. Your body's always trying to be in optimum health. So when you give it the tools, it's going to take advantage and say, where have you been? You've been trying to make me live on Egg McMuffins. I mean, come on, pancakes and Eggos. Now you're giving me like this. You got to give me a little bit of a runway here. You're dosing me with amazing nutrition. Thanks, but I got to catch up here. So a couple people are going to not. It's not going to be a fun ride, but they have to go through a few days of headaches, maybe a little nauseous, to get to a lifetime without headaches. So you want to have a headache for a few days and never have a headache again? This is the way to go. I haven't had a headache. I wouldn't even know what a headache is.
So are you just supposed to stay on the cleanse and nothing else?
During the cleanse, you can eat all the raw food you want. Salads, avocados. Granola is amazing. It's so nutrient dense. People talk about iron absorptions. And there's so much minerals in that. You could snack on the granola, snack on our snacks that we offer here, eat any type of avocados, salads, tons of veggies. Try to stay away from cooked food. Stay away from coffee. Everyone understand caffeine, the world's favorite drug. caffeine. It's really not good for us. Coffee is acidic, so you don't want to do acidic foods like meat and dairy and coffee when you're trying to alkaline the body, because it's not a good match. The vibrational match alone, when you have a cup of coffee, you come into a shot of wheatgrass, it's going to be an argument down there, and they don't get along. So if you can just go for 5 days, you could literally just do juicing for 30 days. People have done it, and you will not starve to death. You will not even be nutritionally deficient in anything. You could go for a long time with just juicing. However, when you go back to solid foods, there's a lot of food: hummus, beans, lentils, guacamole, grape leaves. Mediterranean has tons. Middle Eastern food, Lebanese food. There's so much vegan food, from tabbouleh to falafels to all that stuff. There's tons and tons with the internet. There's literally millions of vegan recipes. The problem with it's the healthiest diet. I would never tell anyone to be a vegan, but if you want to be healthy, that's the diet that we're designed for. That we're all born vegans, and then we get forced to eat the beech nut, and we're forced to eat meat, drink your milk, finish your milk. You're not getting any dessert till you finish. That meat's expensive. So we're eating everything. Finish your plate. So we get conditioned into all these, and we develop unnatural cravings. Yes.
So I guess I want to know, how do you maintain? You do the cleanse, and then you eat the best you can after that. And it's different for everybody depending on their lifestyle. But pretty much, I feel as though, I've done my best.
You've done amazing. This woman's done amazing. When you came in, you were a little, right? Yeah. Would you say that?
Well, I just didn't like the taste of it.
Yes. Correct. And now she's a complete superstar. A superstar. She's in here do you do shots of ginger? Wheatgrass.
I do wheatgrass.
Yep. Yep. Okay.
But how do I maintain? I want to know, how do I maintain? Because I feel myself slipping back. I feel
Yes.
myself craving. I've put some weight back on. I need to get it together. I need to get back.
Yeah. Well, this is the best way to get back. Eventually, I used to love pizza. It was the last thing I gave up. I liked the salt that was in the cheese. I developed I have no desire. You lose your body craves the vegan. My body craves my green juices, my superfood smoothies. Have you made smoothies with goji berries and maca and all those superfoods? Yeah. So that's, I eat a lot of juices and smoothies, and I eat quinoa, beans, stuff like that. Lentils.
My question is to keep yourself going. How often? I mean, the average person can't have a shot of that every day. So, what?
They can if you live on the South Shore.
Yeah.
Except Sundays. Sorry, I take that back. Yes.
What is safe to try and accomplish with that? How often to keep yourself maintained?
We have people that come in once a week or twice a week. They buy the probiotics, and some people unfortunately think it's an excuse to go out and eat things that they wouldn't eat. But they're like, oh, I can go to Greenlight and get a probiotic. I'll eat the fish. I'll have the fish tonight. And then they come in the next day. They don't feel well, but they know the good or bad. The probiotic is so effective that it literally, people feel better right after they take it. So it kind of gives them the 16 ounces. Yes. We've had people that we're not doing well within days have eliminated their intestinal pains, and I've had people say more than once, this stuff's like magic, and I know it is. That's why I'm so passionate about what I'm doing, what we're doing, because we know it works. And when you have something, you see someone suffering, it doesn't have to be that way, and the green light. It's not like it's a long shot. I've never seen it not work. So you have to get patient. I'm not the most, I'm hyper and I'm impatient, amongst other things. But you just want to pour it down this one. So it doesn't have to be that way. But it's not. I learned to deal with that. I learned to see even kids. I used to have the hardest time watching kids drink milk and eat munchkins. I'm like, oh my God. Kids eating 6 Power Flush and 6 Honey Dip Munchkins and drinking a chocolate milk, and then the poor parents are yelling, the teachers are yelling, sit down, be quiet, and the kid's like zinging. I'm like, it's impossible for that kid to sit still. Impossible. After a while, you just guzzle down in his gullet. The kid cannot sit still. So it's a commitment. People think, David, you have such discipline. I go, discipline? Are you kidding me? I'm disciplined because I don't eat meat? That's discipline. When you poison yourself 3 times a day, that's like discipline. Every day of your life, you don't miss it. 3 times a day. That's discipline. What I do isn't discipline at all. I look at it as like, I'm blessed. I look at it as a fortune. Am I going to take an extra hour to make a salad? Yeah, because you multitask. You want to meditate or relax, go make a salad and just multitask. Do your Zen. Do just, next thing you know, you get this big, beautiful salad and say, send a message to yourself that you're worth it. I'm going to invest the next hour of my life to add 20 years on to the end. Everyone says, take so much time. Yeah, but you're gaining 20 years on the other end. So I mean, you want to have the pot roast, the fried clams, and eat all the stuff and take 20 years off your life, or you want to cut up a few vegetables? I'm going with the vegetables all the time, and I'm 20 years of high quality life. Yes.
I think the confusion is that there is so much confusion.
Exactly.
You know, my husband is from Canada. He loves meat.
Yes.
He eat meat 2 weeks.
Yes.
I'm definitely not
He hasn't eaten meat in 2 weeks. His wife's showing him the way, and he's buying
I
in.
think there's
So
confusion. So like we're eating.
there's nothing but confusion.
Eating tofu, and then you find that's.
Yeah, tofu's anything processed is not good.
So I think that what we tell us is if you commit to doing the cleanse is what do you do next? Like what information?
Okay, this is what I did next. A great question, because I had the same. What else is there to eat? My whole life, you eliminate meat, fish, eggs, chicken, and what the hell's left? And I hear that every single day. What the hell do you eat? How do you survive? You like hummus,
Yeah,
tabbouleh?
I think the thing is like someone asked about soy milk.
Yeah, soy milk's.
You're doing good, but then you find that's just
No.
as bad. So
Yeah, it's not just as bad. It's bad, but it's not just as bad. I don't like people say when people say, "Oh, soy's better for you than milk." That's assuming milk is good for you. When you say something's better than something, that means it's good. But when you hear me, you will always hear me say soy is not as bad as dairy. That's how I addressed the question she asked. I didn't say that soy is better than milk because that would be assuming milk was good for her. Soy, tofu, tempeh, seitan, all these fake meats and these vegan nuggets. That's all poison too. It's all poison, but people do that. The people that eat that food, the processed vegan food, are the people who love animals and don't want to kill animals and eat them. So that's what that's for. There's not nutrition. There's no nutrition in tofu. Soy is very difficult, like I said, for the human body to digest, and it's genetically modified too. It's a freak food. It's a freak food. So I would avoid that. I would avoid tofu. I would go with whole foods, literally whole foods. And hummus, guacamole, tabbouleh, grape leaves. There's lots, lentils. Every nationality has beans and rice. Eat beans and rice for the rest of your life. You'll be fine. You're not going to get.
inflammatory?
What's that?
Aren't beans
No,
inflammatory?
not at all. No. They give you gas. People think they give you gas. That's not. No. What's inflammatory is meat and dairy. They're acidic. All of that. Yes.
Beans as well.
But they're hard to digest, right?
They're hard to digest, but you soak the beans. You have to soak the beans and cook them in a pressure cooker is the best way to do it, yes. But lentils, everyone have lentil soup. You go to an Indian restaurant and never have lentil soup, it's friggin' delicious. You're eating something, and you can get it without ghee or whatever they're using. I go to an Indian restaurants and I get the lentil soups. Everyone go to Life Alive. Does everyone here at that restaurant in Cambridge, Life Alive? High quality food. They have the best lentil soup I've ever had. Have you been there? No. Yeah, so there's tons and tons of healthy vegan food out there, whole vegan food. Quinoa. Everyone know what quinoa is? Quinoa is an amazing source of protein. So there's no protein deficiencies in America. No one suffers from a protein deficiency. And you're not going to get, people think they're going to be protein deficient on this. It's impossible. If you eat a vegan, you can live on Pepsis and Pop-Tarts and call yourself a vegan. Unfortunately, we have a lot of those out there that you look at them and they're sick, and people like that look at that guy, he's a vegan. He can't even open the door. He's weak. The wind's going to blow him down the street. Give the guy a steak. Because the guy's got like no energy, no oomph. Because he's not, you can be an unhealthy vegan like anything else. You can, like I said, live on Pepsis and Pop-Tarts and smoke cigarettes and be a vegan. And there's a lot of them out there. But when you eat healthy and a wide range of plant-based nutrition, you're going to be super strong, super fit, super healthy. Disease cannot survive.
So Dave, it sounds like a lot of us don't know the next steps, and some of it's documenting kind of when we get the cleanse, because this is really kind of like my third cleanse,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
And it might be helpful to get like a sheet. I think
Meal plans would be, we're working on all that. There's a lot. I understand what I'm talking about, and we're going as fast as we can. We would love to open, green light cafes and have amazing vegan food that we could come in and get fresh made vegan food all the time, because that's what people don't have the time. So I understand. And millions of people would choose to become vegan. I believe that. If there was an infrastructure in place to educate, inspire, and give them a means to buy the stuff. We could make the most amazing kids' lunches for kids, and parents would come in and buy 5 of them a week knowing their kid is getting great hummus, tabbouleh, a couple falafels, some tahini. Kids will eat all that. But that's what we're working towards. We understand that it's an enormous infrastructure that has to be built to take an entire nation of 200+ million of people. And and there's like 17 or 18 healthy of them. out of 200 million. It's a tough gig. There's a lot of people, there's millions of people waiting for green lights. Millions of people are sick of being sick. But unfortunately, there's no way out for them because there's only 6 vegan places on the entire South Shore that you can go into and know for a fact it's 100%. There's no meat or dairy in the entire facility. There's no sugar in the green light. There's nothing here that would ever harm you. We're not going to serve coffee here. Organic, non-GMO coffee would never do that but in order to do that, we gotta have. I understand what everyone's saying. People would come food shopping here, and someday we hope to have a case here where people will do their food shopping here and pick up freshly made hummus.
So I guess what we're all trying to figure out is how can we do the best we can and survive without reverting back.
Right, because I think going forward, like,
Yeah, it's very
you know,
difficult.
you're gonna get me to come back more if I can change my lifestyle quickly.
Yes.
So if I can kind of get on that bandwagon saying, you know what, these are some good things to add to your daily menu.
But we still have to survive in our world.
Yes.
So, and
But-
we will make the
So we're
best
looking to
choices
you.
that
We're
we
looking to
can.
you, the expert,
Yeah.
to make it.
I gotta put that on my list, okay? feed the country.
Even if it's just like a, bullet point list of, during even the cleanse, these are some good things to add to it if you feel like you need to choose something. Because I definitely need to choose something. So I'm eating the granola, I'm
Yep.
eating the snacks. It's all good because I feel like I need to be eating
Okay.
or,
Yep.
processing something, even though I know my body's processing all that. But then, after I do my 3 or 5 day,
Yep.
which I may convert now to the 5-day, but what are sensible things to add in?
Okay.
And it might just be like little things,
I'll-
because then that's how you grow as well. It's because then you're all converting us, so then we're coming back for more wheatgrass, we're coming back
And
for
then
more
we
green
need to
lights.
know how often we need to take in these nutrients, because in our everyday life in this world, we can't do everything every day, so we're gonna do the best we can. So how do we modify it?
Right, like I can't come here every day.
Right. Other than opening your own juice bar, which is what I did too, because my whole life became feeding myself, and I'm like, I'm leaving my house at 10:30 in the morning. I'm like, I'm up at 5:30. By the time I'm done, me and Roseanne, I'm like, this is, my God, I gotta clean everything. I gotta open juice bars just so I can, like today, I pulled in here. Kyle did 6 beautiful green lights for me. How spoiled am I? I call up Kyle, how you doing? Good, Dave. How can I? He picks up the phone, hyper as ever. Dave, what can I do? Yeah, I'm like, Kyle, you busy? Nope, nobody want. I need 6 green lights. Okay, extra ginger. Yep. And then I pull in, I get a cooler, 6 beautiful green lights. I'm like, okay. All this is paying off.
So your day is you drink 6.
Those are for 2 buddies of mine too. And I met with a lady who wants to do a food plan. So I met with people that were trying to incorporate what you're talking about. But what helped me in the beginning, does everyone know what Ezekiel bread is?
Yes.
Okay. It saved my life. When I first got on this, I'm like, okay, I'm high energy. I need a lot of calories because I use up a lot because I'm hyper and a lunatic. So that requires a lot of caloric intake. So I lived on Ezekiel English muffins every single day. I'd take an Ezekiel cinnamon raisin, Ezekiel English muffin, I'd cut it in half, I'd toast it, I would take big scoops of almond butter, raw almond butter, and I would smother the English muffin, open face. I would take raisins, sprinkle some raisins on there to get some moisture from the almond butter in the Ezekiel English muffin, because it was like, and then I'd sliced a banana, and I'd cut a banana in half and then cut it down the lengthwise, and I'd put banana on top. I had 2 of those every day for 3 straight years in a row. Never got sick of it.
Is that sprouted? Is that
Sprouted bread, it's great. It's never gonna make you sick. Ezekiel bread, we should thank whoever for creating that, because it's a great product. I literally lived on it for 3 years, every day. I never got sick of it. I looked forward to it. It satisfied me. I'd get up, eat my English muffin, open face, and it would be filling. I'd feel great. I'd go do roofs all day, and I was never hungry till I got home. So that's almond butter, bananas, raisins, and Ezekiel English muffins is took care of my breakfast for 3 years. Then I eliminated the Ezekiel muffin, and I used to live on jars of almond butter, sprinkle some raisins in there, and take the banana, and then it was all raw, and it was just what I chose to do. I tried to take it to the next. I'm always trying to keep going, but I don't know where to go from where I'm at right now. I don't know how you tweak how I'm choosing to live my life, and I am absolutely reaping every benefit from it. So I'm going to choose to continue. Nothing could ever taste as good as I feel, like that woman said one day. Nothing tastes as good as I feel. So I'm no longer tempted by anything. I mean, I used to drink coffee, and I used to smell coffee in the North End. I'd like it. I'd go, that smells good. And I like the whole thing, the friendship, the whole social thing of drinking coffee, but
But that's important, because eating is a socialization.
it's all social now. We're never supposed to eat 3 times a day. It's another whole commercialized myth. We're only supposed to eat when we're hungry.
And we don't want to give up the social
Right,
part of it.
right.
So I think that I know that I can function through that, but I still can't keep myself and maintain myself at that level now, because I did it, I was great for like 4 or 5 months, and now I'm having an issue where I'm not, and I need to get back there, so.
I'm very good. I'm very focused and conscious of words. She used. I've seen this woman do everything she said she can't do. I have seen her come in here and I can't drink this green juice. I can't do it. I can't do this. I can't. She was a tough. And I love this woman. I'm so proud of you and what you've done. Watching you over the last year and a half, I smile every time I see her. I'm like, because she used the word can't, and she said I can't keep going like this, and I want to do this, and I want to do that. I need to do this. She's choosing to change her life. She's going 100 miles an hour. You don't realize the steps you've made in your life. I don't believe so. I don't know if you're giving yourself enough credit for the things you've incorporated.
I want to go back where I was. Yeah.
Comfort food, right? There's a reason they call it comfort food. There's nothing comforting about it, but in our mind, psychologically, yeah, because it's comfort, because you got to go find a comfortable spot to sit after you eat it because you're exhausted, and just plop yourself down and say never again. What's that?
I'm never exhausted, thank God.
Yeah, thank God. I know a lot of people that are. Very few people can utter those words. Yes. Welcome back. And how are you? Would you like a water? Does your daughter want a water? Yes.
Where would you get calcium from if you're not
Okay.
eating dairy?
I love these questions. Same source, supposedly, where the cow got all its calcium from. Where did the cow get all its calcium? Grass. And what are the dairy cows eating today? They'll never see a blade of grass.
So what foods are like high?
Kale, sesame seeds, one of the highest forms of calcium on the planet. All greens, kale, spinach, wheatgrass. Lots of calcium and everything. You cannot be calcium deficient in this. And the reason dairy is such a horrific source of calcium is because it's incredibly acidic. It doesn't even contain calcium. They're not even getting calcium. So when you get acidic, in order for the body to alkaline itself, it actually leaches the calcium that it has stored in its bones to alkaline the body. So when you consume massive amounts of dairy, you stay in a state of acidity. In order to heal yourself and get in an alkaline state, your body leaches the calcium that it has in its bones to alkaline the body. That's why the largest consumers, Norway, Sweden, United States, they're the largest consumers of dairy. They have the largest cases per capita of osteoporosis. So the countries that drink the most, consume the most dairy, have the highest cases of osteoporosis. You can't deny that fact. The more dairy you drink, cow's milk you drink to get calcium, the less calcium you have in your body. It's the complete opposite of what we've been told.
Coconut milk and all that have calcium?
Not as much. Almonds have calcium, but if you think dark leafy greens, they contain everything. Bok choy has a lot of calcium. You can make salads. Me and Rosangela had a salad last night. Sunflower sprouts, a lot of calcium. Does everybody know what a sunflower sprout is? We're going to start growing them. We grow them now, but just we don't have enough to feed everybody. But sunflower sprouts are a complete protein. Do you have any?
Yeah, we have.
Oh, this trays. Okay, these are sunflower sprouts. Okay, and like we talked about the transformation of energy.
Kai is eating them.
I can pop those off and eat them. We had a salad last night. It was with dulse, seaweeds, and all that. That's a lot of calcium is in seaweed. But this is a sunflower seed. This one little seed has the ability and the energy in here to grow 6 feet tall and produce 300 seeds. So the energy in one little seed, if you were to plant that outside, that would grow to be 6 feet tall and produce 300 seeds. That's the power of a sunflower sprout. It's a complete protein. You could live on that the rest of your life and be just on that. You could solve world hunger with that. They're phenomenal.
I mean, it kind of comes back to this.
Oh my God, I'm stuffed. I couldn't eat another one. Oh my God, am I gaining weight? How many calories are in that? Huh?
It kind of comes back to what you were saying, which is, can you buy those in Stop and Shop?
You can. You can buy them at Whole Foods.
You need to have access.
They're $4 a bag, and you don't know when they were cut. Some of them are like 4 or 5 days old. So once we handle our greenhouse situation, we started going through hundreds of trays of wheatgrass a month. Now we're going through thousands. So we're going to incorporate buckwheat. We're going to grow buckwheat lettuce, it's a sprout, pea greens, sunflower, and wheatgrass. So eventually, soon, hopefully by the spring, you'll be able to come in here and buy fresh cut bags, gallon bags of sunflower sprouts. Once we start selling those, and once people start buying those, and they start eating them, and then you get a portobello mushroom. Does everyone like mushrooms? People like mushrooms, portobello mushrooms. We have those, and we make raw vegan cheese. And you put that on there, you take an Ezekiel English muffin, and you put tomato, red onion, sunflower sprouts on top of that. I don't know how it gets better. You're eating it, your knees are buckling like this. How can this is real food. This is real. The taste, you will not sacrifice taste on a plant-based diet if you put a little time into it. Everyone's going to take the time. Everybody wants this magic pill. They just want to learn everything in one day and know how to feed themselves. It took me 10 years to learn everything I learned, and I was aggressive. Yes?
So we did the cleanse last week.
Yep. Yep.
And it was great because you're basically your diet is set for 7 days, 5 days, 4 days, 6 days. But the confusing part now is that you are walking around going, I don't want to eat meat, I don't want to eat pizza, and I don't want to do all these things, but you don't have a lot of choice. And what I think what some people are saying is at the end of the cleanse, it would have been good to know what we could, what these things are. So when we go to the store and we're buying the avocados, we're buying things, I can't eat avocado for the rest of my life. I'll go crazy.
I said that until I started eating them, and now I can't go a day without eating one. It's funny how everything changes. I understand what you're saying. We have to come up with shopping lists. There's so much to do.
I think the point is that you don't want to revert back.
Yes,
to
right, like that guy.
Exactly.
Yes, because the further away from the green. That's why it's good to come here once a week. People come here literally just to like plug in. They always say, thanks for letting me stop at your gas station. They come in here because they can feel themselves like getting off track. And then you come in here and you see 4 or 5 people that you haven't seen in a while, and you say, okay, I'm not alone. Because when you leave this here tonight and you go to your families and your friends, I mean, you're alone. I don't care. I was alone, Like the guy said, the only time I feel alone is when I'm in a room full of people, right? So when you go out into the real world, like you said, you can go to any restaurant. There's nothing to eat. You go down the menu like meat, chicken, fish, eggs. You're like, holy shit, 3 pages. There's not one thing I can order here. I can't even eat in this place. Beautiful lights, beautiful bar, beautiful everything. Yes?
But those restaurants, if you ask, they will adjust for you.
Yeah.
If they don't have a veggie burger or something like that, you can just ask for a portobello mushroom,
It's not easy. I'm telling you, I understand. It's not easy. We live in a world that's not conducive to this lifestyle. We're conducive to death and sickness and disease. So when you go into a world of unconsciousness, insanity, and unhealthiness, and you're healthy and conscious and sane, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult. I took a long time to adjust to that. And I look around and I see what's going on. I'm like, I get frustrated. I'm in like restaurants. I'm begging they don't have Dasante water or Aquafina. I'm like, just give me a Poland Spring or a Fiji. That's all I want for dinner. It's not easy. It's bad for social life.
Or you make the decision to
Eat before you go out.
Nice piece of fish and a keep a salad. Done with it and say that's okay.
That's your best choice. If you're going to have a bad choice, eat the fish, because your body has a better chance to digest fish, especially not fried fish. But if you're going to eat that, because fish, people ask why is it okay to eat fish and not chicken or steak? It's not. However, I'm going to tell you the truth. It's not as bad for us because your body has at least a shot at breaking down fish. It's flaky. You cut it with a fork. You're eating dense tissue from animal flesh. It's like human flesh. It's dense. It takes a lot of enzymatic nutrition, a lot of digestive enzymes to digest a chicken breast, turkey breast, or a steak, or a cheeseburger. It's going to take a lot of enzymes to digest and eliminate. When you eat fish, you cut it with a fork, you eat it, it's flaky, and you usually have vegetables with it. So if you're going to, I don't even want to call it pick your poison, but that's basically what you're doing. Pick the less poison.
Have the parasites.
Yes, that's what comes with. Not all parasites are killed when they cook the fish. I'm dealing with someone right now suffering. Parasites and raw fish and sushi, that's suicide.
Yeah.
Eating raw fish is nothing. I read a guy come in here, he's changed his whole life. Ended up eating a bad oyster, ended up being the best thing he ever did. He came in here so sick and suffering. He's been here every single day. We've been open since for the last year and a half.
Yeah, definitely cooked fish.
I think what we were saying is we're on your bus. I mean,
Yes.
we're with you.
And we love having you on the bus.
And we're
But
ready,
yeah,
but it's like, great, so you have the restaurants, so there's 6 vegan restaurants, amazing.
Yeah.
Give us the list of 6 vegan restaurants,
yeah.
because I don't know where to go.
Life Alive is great, and if you're going to go there, order three to go, but don't order 10. They don't give it to you 10 at a time. Unfortunately, I've learned the hard
So I'm
way.
saying, I think these are great, and I would highly recommend anyone to the plans. I thought
Yep.
it was amazing.
Yep.
I never thought that Dean would never
Yes.
eat meat.
Right.
Amazing.
She was telling me about her husband before and saying, here you go, my husband likes the meat, And I'm like, okay, he'll never not eat meat. And I'm like, that's why I don't like the word never and can't. Those are 2 words that we should eliminate from our.
We always ate very healthy.
Yes.
As it was, we always ate
Yes.
greens.
Right, that's why you look the way you do. You're not sick and suffering, but
But we ate a lot of meat. But now after the cleanse,
Yep.
I'm thinking about what I'm eating
yes,
far more than I ever
yes,
did.
yes.
But to have the tips of that stuff, I'm never gonna remember the name of it. But to have it, a list of it, and go, okay, these are the things that are gonna make this salads better. Where do you go to get it?
Would be
Okay.
really
You know,
helpful.
yeah, because then you're gonna go and buy it because you've spent a lot of money doing a cleanse.
Yes, you invested a lot of money. You didn't spend a thing. Yes, you
Yeah,
invested
no,
a lot of money.
It's great.
Yes.
No, I mean,
Yep.
it's great, but in order to continue it, you have to live in the real world, which is, I still.
No, this is the real world. What's going on out there? My guy taught me this too. When someone said that, the guy said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa." That is not the real world. The real world's here. But I understand what you're saying. When you go out into society,
Well,
you
I
are
mean,
bombarded with nothing but bad
I
choices.
mean, like, being in the real world is, I still have to go to work.
Yes,
every day,
yep.
and the canteen of work sucks.
Yeah.
And so we bring our food in all the time.
Yeah. And then people look at what do you eat? What is
But
that?
I can't, there's things that I would like to try that are new
Yeah.
because I can't eat the same
Okay.
things all the time. And I want to break the habit of buying the same foods. So just having that like guidance on, how to get the best nutrition. If I'm going to cut dairy out, what do I get to replace what I thought I was getting
Yes.
from it?
Yep.
Or those sorts of things. Because that's hard. If you're breaking, I've never.
It's
had
hard.
cleanse. That's
Yes.
33 years of eating the same. Well,
Yep.
I wasn't eating what I was born.
Yep.
But it's those things that you're trying to break, but you don't know how. And then you go to Google, and Google tells you
All the wrong
don't
stuff.
eat
There's a lot,
nuts,
right? There's a
don't
lot,
eat too
right?
many nuts,
Right. Yeah.
loads
Right.
of nuts,
Yeah.
too
Correct.
much, don't eat beans, don't eat.
I've had people, cutting-edge nutritionists tell people to eat dairy to lower blood pressure. It's beyond people saying you can't absorb iron. You're not absorbing iron, so you have to eat chicken. The reason they're not absorbing iron is because their intestines are impacted from the chicken they're eating. That the iron from the vegetables that they're eating are not being entered into the bloodstream, which means they're deficient in iron because it can't enter the bloodstream because they ate the chicken. And the guys tell them to eat the chicken to get the iron, and it's the reason they don't have any iron in the blood. So it's maddening. It's maddening because these people don't know what they're doing. You had a question first. I'm sorry.
Well, like after doing the cleanse, it's kind of hard just to go like
Yes.
vegetarian.
Yep.
I mean, is
Yep.
there the concept of like doing everything in moderation?
Um,
Instead of having that meat.
Yeah, if you want to slowly moderate yourself off, that's the best.
Or,
Yes, but you're going to lose your craving. I'm telling you, if you eat meat twice a month, I was the biggest meat eater. I loved the taste of meat. I loved it. And unfortunately, all the taste from meat comes from the amount of urine that's in the meat. That's where all the flavor comes from.
I don't eat meat, but I'm dairy.
Yes.
I like dairy.
Right.
I thought I'd never eaten cheese again.
That was the hardest thing my daughter had to give up was cheese. You like the salt that's in the cheese. We're all salt addicts. We're all salt addicts. Even I'm a salt. That's why I like dulse. I like seaweeds. I like the salt. So we're all salt addicts. That's what draws us to the cheese. Cut back, and I used to love Town Spa pizza. Everyone here, the Town Spa in Stoughton. I used to power flush 2 pizzas at a time like that without even chewing. I loved pizza. Now the thought of pizza, even the smell of pizza, I understand. I'm like nauseous because I understand. How did I ever eat that? Never mind smell it. Now I wouldn't even carry it. It's a process. I didn't get to the point where I wouldn't touch a gallon of milk like today. I would never even touch it. But there was a time I was drinking it. So it doesn't happen overnight. It didn't happen for me overnight. But I did give up meat overnight. I saw the horrific movie, and I was like, oh my God, I'm eating these things. Oh my God, I never realized I was eating dead animals. I'm like, how did I not know that? Because they desensitized us. They made it inanimate objects like a chair. That's all. You want chicken or fish? What do you want? It's not even like we don't realize they're animals. And everyone loves animals. We live in a country where Petcos are every 6 feet, and people spending billions of dollars on their pets. We're so distorted that I never realized. I'm looking, oh my God, I'm eating dead animals. Wow, wow. And then I saw what they're going through. I'm like, whoa, I'm eating the energy from that. I felt bad enough for the animals, yeah, but that's not. I'm like, I'm not ingesting that fear into my body and getting the vibration of that. And when I did that, I wasn't as violent as I used to be. Because I wasn't eating violence anymore. So it's amazing when you think of that concept and conscious eating like you're talking about, you're thinking about everything. I have guys looking at me, they want to strangle me. They're like, I can't eat anything without thinking of you, man. I'm sitting there going, I'm looking around this table. I don't want to be that guy that people run from in the supermarkets because I'm not. If everybody left here and went to McDonald's, I wouldn't think. I'd be like, oh, that's too bad. But I would not like you because you went to McDonald's. I'm not like that. Like I said, I love everybody in the room. That's why I have the last thing I want to do is talk in front of people. I'm super shy. Self-esteem issues, low self-esteem, all self-worth, all that. But I got over all that because I know we're making a difference. Yes.
I'd like to change my diet
Yeah.
Because after I had that drink, I felt best as I ever
Yeah.
felt, because I have respiratory problems.
Yep.
But I don't know how to cook kale and spinach and all that stuff.
That's why you could choose to educate yourself. I didn't know how to. You think I know how to make raw pizzas? No, I literally flew 3,000 miles away, slept in rent-a-cars, and paid people to work at raw food. I actually paid people to work in their kitchens and work 12 hours a day. Happy to do it because I wanted to learn how to make. I chose to learn how to make raw pizza. I learned how to make granola. I can make amazing food. Amazing, all raw, all vegan. I can make a raw tiramisu that you would never, you would bet all your money that it's not raw vegan tiramisu. I've had people eat, it's the best thing, not the only best tiramisu I ever had, this is the best food I've ever eaten in my life.
What is raw pizza then?
It's raw, make it out of flax seeds, the crust out of carrots, celery, put it in dehydrators. There's nothing you can't do, but who's gonna go home and make a raw pizza? No one, it takes hours and hours to do all that. It took me 5,
Opening a restaurant.
yeah, that's what I mean. As soon as you want to work here, I'm trying to get her to work here since I first met her. I'm like, we have a green T-shirt for you. Whenever you're ready, you let us know. You would have a blast here. I'm telling you. I think it would be a good fit. But whenever you're ready, you let us know.
No interview necessary.
No. Your energy's good. You pass the energy test.
We were working in the harbor like a couple times at the culinary school, like a dinner with Dave.
Yeah.
So we were working on it. It's hard.
We had our first class there about a month ago. It was great. People came, I showed them how to make almond milks. Almond milk's so easy. You can go to YouTube and learn, but there's a different feel when you're in a community of people sitting here. You can go to YouTube, sit in bed and watch YouTube till you know, I could lose my mind on YouTube. But because there's a lot of good stuff on YouTube. But it's not the same as watching someone do it live and then everyone left with goodie bags with granola, truffles. I showed everybody how to make truffles that people are buying by the thousands. So you have to embrace the whole experience and realize you're worth it. Learn. You choose to learn, go learn. Learn how to make stuff. Go on the internet, learn. Go to buy raw food books, vegan books. And don't use the processed vegan foods. Like the vegan butter and the vegan margarine, all that, and the vegan mayonnaise. I wouldn't touch it because I can make mayonnaise. You can make so many things that aren't highly processed. Food is something that nourishes the body. And if you choose to do that, you have to embrace the experience. I tell people you could have a love affair with yourself. Treat yourself better than anyone's ever treated you. Treat yourself better than anyone. Take the time to educate yourself and to learn. When we get the school up and running, you can come to our classes.
So your classes that you teach,
Yep.
are they something that you can live off of?
Yes, these people learn how to make all the smoothies we make here, all the juices we make here. We show them exactly how to make each one. We show them how to grow wheatgrass. Soak and sprout the seeds, soil the trays, the whole bit. We showed them how to make truffles, almond milks. So they learn the basics where they could, it's a step by step. I know, that's what the marketplace is telling me. Build it and they will come. People just want to come in and just go to the cabinet, buy 5 beautiful meals for their kids for school lunches, and then come home, the husband comes home, the wife comes home late from work, and there's a beautiful plate of hummus, tabbouleh, falafels, grape leaves, and all that.
Is that online, Dave? Is there like a schedule of classes?
No, that's our fault. We haven't been, the school's all built, the facility's all done. We had our first class. Everybody had sunflower sprout salad. We had a big buffet at the end. Everyone came. It was the best food they ever eaten. It was very well received. Everyone saw they got value. And it's on our Facebook page. You'll see the salads that we had. It was fun. I make amazing Caesar salads with raw vegan Caesar dressing. You would swear it had cream in it, eggs in it. It's not. We do dehydrated tomatoes. We had dehydrated portobello mushrooms. It was 5-star, 5-star. You couldn't get this at the Four Seasons. And it was an experience that these people had for 4 hours that got the light bulb to turn on in their head and go, okay. And congratulations, no meat in 2 weeks. That's pretty impressive. It made my day. When your wife told me that the other day, I'm like,
I can't look at a chicken. I can't look at anything,
I know.
anything like that.
We
After she told me what you told her, I was like,
I know, and that's okay. I'll take the hit. I'll take the hit on that. That guy's so offensive. That's what they get. That's okay.
I mean, I probably will eat meat again.
Yeah.
I think I'll be in situations where
Yeah.
I would be out for dinner with
Yeah,
friends.
yeah.
And
You don't want to insult
I
them,
don't
and
wanna
you're right.
be
Yeah,
against,
right,
you know,
right. Be that guy. Yes.
But
I have no problem being that guy.
Like today, I went down to for lunch. You know, I just couldn't get food out of my head today, and I'd eaten all the nuts and
Yeah.
I'd eaten all the healthy stuff,
Yeah.
and I was like, I just need something else. But everything I walked past, I couldn't bring myself to eat it.
Yep.
I ended up getting like a bag of like health.
Yeah, yeah, whatever it takes. I hear you. When I go traveling, I just take a bottle of water.
So I thought it was good.
If I go places, I go on a water fast if I have to. If I go to like the airports, I'm traveling, there's nothing in any airport yet. Who knows, maybe the green lights will be in the major airports. But yeah, I just go on a water fast because I'm at the point where I know I'm not gonna starve to death, so I'll just drink water, and then your hunger will go away after a while. You realize you're really hungry, and then you forget about it for a second, and then you know, geez, I didn't eat anything, I was really hungry, but now I'm not even hungry, so I'm okay. You wonder where did that hunger go? You have stored fat, your body will survive. But I understand, everybody wants to learn, but yeah, unfortunately, you gotta take some responsibility, and I'll hold your hand, and if we make all the food, you come here and you purchase it, that's what we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to choose to put the infrastructure in place. And you know, we have our hands full just making granola and truffles and keeping granola in our stores. We have 6 stores. We're hoping to launch May 1st, Dave's Raw Food, where we're gonna have a line of raw food. But as soon as Gayla gets off her ass and comes to work at the Green Light, we can start having some food here. The t-shirt's out back, I'm ready. So. And anyone who else wants to work here, these young ladies here might want to be smoothie girls in the summer, who knows, right? And that's how people can learn. But it's a process. You have to embrace the journey. I'm on an amazing journey. I mean, as bad as suffering as I went through that when I saw what was happening in the hospitals and convention medicine, it was painful for me. But I learned how to, to the best of my ability, I developed tools. Everything is the way it should be, I guess, but I don't believe that. But I know that what we're doing here is good, and we're just 18 months old. 18 months ago was me and Rosangela here. I was in the back making all the juices and smoothies. That was 18 months ago. It seems like 18 years ago, you know? Now we got 6 beautiful stores, 30-something beautiful people working for us. We had one woman working for us that's running Duxbury right now. She's an amazing woman. She had her day off today. I went in there. It wasn't the same vibe. I walked through the door, and I'm like, wow. And I knew she wasn't there, and I'm like, okay. And this woman used to work at a caterer, and the chicken you were talking about. She did a 4-day cleanse, and then she had health issues. Then she added 3 more days because she felt amazing. Then she wrote this beautiful note to me saying, save me, please, teach me. I can't do this anymore. She couldn't pound another piece of chicken. She physically couldn't touch another chunk of animal. She just woke up. She literally woke up and go, I'm pounding chicken. I mean, this is insane. She got in tune with the energy from that. She realized she can't touch it. And she got to the point where she can't. So we offered her not a job. We have careers at the Green Light. We don't offer jobs. We have a career for you guys. It's not a job. So, and now you look at her and she's strong, healthy, and you come in, good morning, and she didn't think, have a nice night. You're leaving? Great to see you. I'm very proud of you. Yes. If your ears are ringing, it's because I'm talking about you as soon as you leave. She came in like this. She did not want to like the place. And a lot of people come in like that, you know. I read a woman who's our biggest fan right now, Susan. She changed her whole life. She was very, very sick. She goes, she did a testimonial one night. She goes, I walked into the Green Light and I said, I couldn't stand the smell of the place. Most people come in and go, oh my God, it smells great in here. She could not take the smell. She hated fruits and vegetables. She hated everything about veggies. Now she's off the charts, more energy than everyone. And not a week goes by where someone doesn't. Susan told me about this place. I'm like, I know, Susan's good. We haven't seen her in a while because she's growing her own wheatgrass. She came to the class. She's growing all her own wheatgrass. She's doing all her juicing at home because we teach people. People like, I think I'm out of my mind because we're teaching people everything that we do here so they can do it at home. But if everybody in the world was growing wheatgrass at home and we didn't sell any shots of wheatgrass, I'd be okay with that. You know what I mean? I'd be like, okay, let's go on to the next thing. So, but until that day comes, not everybody's going to do this because it's a lot of work. And that's one good thing about work. You realize this is a lot of work, what we're doing here. It's not work, but it's, and I don't tell my father, I say I'm going to the Green Light. I don't go to work every day. I go to the Green Light. And I'm fortunate enough to be the head vision keeper of the Green Light. So I created something I chose to be a part of. That was it. Because I got burnt out of roofing and construction. I could no longer do that anymore. So the guy, I don't know who said this, but some wise guy said, sometimes you have to create something that you choose to be a part of. And that's what I did. I chose this because I knew that I wasn't supposed to be putting roofs on anymore. So, and then I got into all that. I didn't know anything either. I came from Capital Grill to being fascinated with wheatgrass. And then I realized and I experienced what it felt like to drink wheatgrass every day. Here's some truffles. She's pulling out all the stops. Has anyone had these before? Okay. These are totally 100% obviously raw vegan. Okay, there's no meat, obviously no meat, but there's no dairy in this and there's no sugar. So people are loving these things. They're taking to their store, taking over the South Shore. And they're very healthy. Yes, you can do it on the cleanse because it's raw vegan. You can eat anything raw and vegan on the cleanse. This was a great class. I had a lot of fun here. Thank you.